今日長談深入時事話題，我翻嚟今日請到嘅來賓係 Linda Reid， 係 Richmond South Centre 嘅省議員，亦都係我哋前任嘅議長。今日嚟同我哋頭先傾過係議長嘅角色，同我哋介紹咗，但我哋多了解議長呢個角色係做啲乜嘢嘢嘅，同埋佢應該有嘅知識或者係應該有嘅政治立場應該係點樣嘅。而家我哋翻嚟傾下佢呢位7年莊贏咗嘅 MLA 佢嘅從政過程。Welcome Linda, welcome back. Okay, I just told our audience that you were the longest serving woman in the legislature and you have won 7 elections consecutively. Well, so you have seen enough of all the political ups and downs. Recently there are more, as we conceive, from the media, there are more racial tensions that is going on in Richmond, in particular in your constituents. What is your take on this? Do you think it is as serious as the media has been showing?
I'm ever hopeful. I think that the times that I meet with constituents who are brand new to Richmond, I say you have one job, and that's to make us better. And I certainly support all the organizations, Multicultural Committee. I support the Women's Resource Center. I just came from an event there earlier today. We have a committee, Organization Against Racism and Hate in Richmond. All of those pieces of the puzzle are threads that try and connect people together to ensure that we form a better partnership. At the end of the day, to use your words, multiculturalism has to be a two-way street. We have to be prepared to honor our neighbor, look out for our neighbor, and understand the reason people want to come to British Columbia, want to come to Richmond, is it's an amazingly beautiful place. We invited the world in '86 in the World's Fair. We invited the world again in 2010 for the Olympics. We shouldn't be surprised for a moment that they've come. This is an amazing place to live, work, raise a family. How we learn to live together, it'll always be a work in progress, but I'm hopeful.
Well, hopeful is something that we are all moving towards that direction. But the fact is that we have seen some racial, really discriminating the posters that came out in my almost 30 years in Vancouver, in the greater and Vancouver area. It is really the recent years that these things come out. So I try not to say that is there anything wrong that has been done in the past, but how can we move forward to avoid this and to treat it? I know the RCMP has advised try to ignore it because those are just a few nuisance people, and the more attention you give them, the more you give them the platform to do crazy things. But is there anything that in your power or in the public domain that we can help to ease that kind of tension?
Well, we certainly, I'm a former teacher. Was there bullying and malicious comment made when I was teaching? Goes back more than 30 years. Yes, there was. Is it better today? I think it's getting better today, because I think more people are prepared to say, that's not appropriate. Step back. That's not appropriate. People don't spectate around instances of bullying. They actually step up and pay attention. We had that lovely example on SkyTrain a few weeks back, where that young man went to the aid of that young woman who was being harassed. More people will stand up, more people will say, that's not the kind of neighborhood I want to live in. That's actually a very good discussion to have. That they want people to understand how important relationship is. Because at the end of the day, it's always going to be a relationship. Are we prepared to step up and look out for our neighbors? We are.
I can obviously see that you are a half glass full person. Because from the media we can see that instead of you are saying that it is great that we have some young men who stood up for that young lady, but from the media there are also sentiments that, oh my God, there's only one person who came out to stand up for this young lady. So in this very
it only took one.
It only took one. But one thing that I am quite impressed when you say that today, yes, all these things will happen. It will happen no matter what we do. But the majority of the people will come and say, no, that's wrong. Is that what you are trying to?
That's exactly what I believe, and that's basically what history has proven. That people will stand up and say, we're not accepting of that behavior.
So we should try to help more people understand that it's a good thing and it's right to stand up to say, no, that's wrong.
Be kind to each other, look out for your neighbor. That's what our parents taught us when we were small. Those life lessons need to stay with us.
So the racial tension is a big issue, but when it comes down to the basics, it's really fundamental that we learn what we learn in kindergarten. Be nice to your neighbors.
It's human decency. Are you a decent person? Are you a decent neighbor? Are you prepared to help out when someone needs a hand up? The answers to those in Canada today should be yes. Prime Minister, I think, said it best. The world needs more Canada.
So, while the world needs more Canada, and how do you define Canadian?
Canadiana? For me, it's
Yes.
about acceptance. I think years ago we had to move away from the agenda that was just about tolerance. Where you had zero tolerance. It's more than that. It's a bigger discussion than that. It has to be about, do you accept your neighbor for who they are? Maybe you could learn some lessons. Maybe you could learn some new traditions and customs. Maybe you could share your traditions and customs. Can you build a stronger, better, bigger province country? Yes. Can you treat people more decently? Yes.
So those are the things that you have been working for the past, how many years? Seven terms?
My entire working life when I was a teacher.
Yeah.
I believe the same things when I was a school administrator. We all have a notion of the kind of community we want to live in, the kind of family we want to raise. You have to pull all of those pieces together. And it should be, in this day and age, it should be an uplifting discussion.
So what are the specific projects that you're spearheading towards this direction in the community? And what I'm asking is, what kind of projects that you would like to see our audience join in to your crusade?
My crusade in terms of human decency crusade?
Anything.
Show up, stand up for your neighbor, do the things that matter. We had a rally when those flyers were distributed. Lots and lots and lots of people came out to say, you know what, not in my neighborhood am I going to tolerate that for a second. That warms my heart. It's whether or not we're prepared to stand up for our neighbors. Living in Richmond, enormous gift, enormous opportunity to live in Richmond. Do we have some transportation issues today? Yes. Do we need to improve the transportation through the Massey corridor? Yes. We can't have the congestion we're having today because all of those things continue to cause difficulties and issues for commerce and for a free enterprise economy. We want people to be able to care for their families, to have great jobs, to have opportunities for their kids to get a great education. That's why people choose Canada. We shouldn't be frustrating them along the way by creating unnecessary transportation gridlock.
Those are the areas that you are working on. So in your writing, how are there any projects or programs that you have initiated?
Most definitely. We're fighting hard for the creation of the hospital, a new acute care tower in Richmond. All 4 Richmond MLAs are soundly behind that project. The hospital tower is 50 years old. It's simply outdated. It simply needs to be replaced. The community has come together. Lots of funders have come together to say how important this is. We put the concept plan in place when we were government. The business case should hopefully be in place under this new government, and we can hopefully go to construction because we want to have the best possible healthcare options for not just everyone who lives in Richmond, but travelers coming through the Vancouver International Airport, folks who may be traveling from other outside municipalities. They have to know that Richmond can handle any trauma that comes along, but is the best equipped to handle that trauma with a new facility.
Well, recently it's announced that the Surrey is going to have another general hospital. Are you looking forward to another hospital in Richmond? Or are you happy with a new tower?
We'd be totally thrilled with the new tower. Our tower, Burnaby and North Shore, are all roughly the same vintage. They're all roughly 50 years old. So the reality is on the Lower Mainland we have to uplift all the healthcare facilities. Do I want Richmond to be next? Absolutely, I want Richmond to be next.
So you would like our audience to join into the crusade and building a new hospital?
Absolutely.
Or a new tower?
And if they want to donate to the Richmond Hospital Foundation, they should absolutely be encouraged to do that. Natalie Meisner is the director of the foundation, and she is working unbelievably hard to raise funds on behalf of the Richmond Hospital construction.
7 consecutive campaigns, and you win all of them. We have always heard that people run for public office, win a campaign, but it is difficult. and it's even more difficult to keep the seat. What is your secret?
I think you treat every campaign as if it's your first, and you work incredibly hard. I come from that school of thought that being elected is about helping people solve their problems and, frankly, to realize their dreams. It should be optimistic. It should be uplifting. So the notion that I have office hours nonstop, everyone is welcome to come to the constituency office at Garden City and Blundell. Everyone is welcome to contact us by Facebook, by email. Let us know if there's ways we can assist. We absolutely will be there for you, because I think that is the essence of public service.
We have always encouraged the new generation, the younger generation, to come and join into this process, and join into the political the endeavors. What is your advice to them as the most senior officer?
I was in my 20s when I was first elected. I
Yes.
say to people, young people today, the world belongs to those who show up. If you're keen about politics, show up. Make sure you vote. Make sure you work on a campaign. Make sure you learn about the process and give something back that strengthens your community. Because you have a sense of how you want to live your life. You have a sense of the kind of community you want to live in. Sometimes it's not enough to think that your neighbors will do all that work. Sometimes you have to step up and do that work.
Thank you very, very much. Today you have helped us understand what the speaker's role is, but at the same time give us some inspiration of what public service means. And I like your attitude towards half glass full. We could always be like that, right?
I think politics is about public service. I think there's no finer calling. So thank you so very much for having me as a guest.
Thank you. 所有長談室時事話題，今日我哋嘅來賓係 Linda Reid，我哋下次再見，我係黎拔佳 BC Lee，拜拜。